guys, today we are making Crock Pot Texas Chili while we go out and explore Galveston. So stick around if you want to see how this turns out, all while having a whole lot of fun. Hey Crock Posse, today we are making Texas Chili before we head out to explore some of the different things that we wanted to see here in Galveston while we are staying here. So I grabbed my trusty cookbook, the Everyday Low Carb Slow Cooker Cookbook, and it has Texas chili in it. So I started reading and I realized that Texas chili, according to this cookbook, is way different than Indiana chili. And I know everybody is very particular about their chili, but according to this cookbook, and you Texans will have to correct me if the cookbook may have it wrong, but according to this, it says Texas chili is typically very spicy and contains no beans or tomatoes. Like, mind blown. Tomatoes are always in chili back home, so no matter what. Yeah. So it says this particular recipe has toned down the spiciness, which we need because we're not big spicy people. But you can add more red pepper flakes, which is one of the ingredients if you want to spice it up a little bit more. Another thing it talks about is that you really need to use, instead of ground beef, you need to use chuck beef stew meat. And so I have 3 pounds of stew meat, and it's so funny because back home stew meat comes mainly in like 1 pound packages, so I thought, oh man, I'm gonna have to like buy 3 different packages, but here in Texas they had a 3 pound package, so I could just grab one.
You Texans like your beef.
So we were okay at the grocery store last night. So with that, I have altered this recipe just a little bit to meet our taste, but I will tell you what I've got going on here. I have a tablespoon of minced garlic, but I use freeze-dried, so that's technically going to be even a little bit more than most because we really love garlic. And then I'm going to add the other things I already have in here is a tablespoon of oregano. The original recipe calls for a teaspoon of cumin. We love cumin, so I added a tablespoon. And what else is in here? Oh, it calls for a teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and I was a wimp, so I only added a half a teaspoon. If you want a lot more heat, you could even double up on that. So that's what's already in here. To that, we are supposed to add 1/4 cup of chili powder, and I had this moment when I was reading this recipe of going, oh my goodness, we absolutely love our chili con carne chili powder, and I didn't bring any with us, so I had to go buy chili powder. And I found this brand, it's Fiesta brand, and in the grocery store it said it's a Texas brand, so we're going to try it. Since we can't have our favorite, we're going to give the Texas brand a try. So 1/4 cup of chili powder. So I'm going to take this, and I've got my little measuring cup here, and I'm just going to put that in there. Okay, so we got 1/4 cup in there. It also said to add a teaspoon of black pepper, but it also didn't mention salt. So I am going to go on and just directly pepper my beef and salt my beef all on its own. I'm not going to over salt it because we're adding beef broth and we're adding beef bouillon, which is technically salty too. But I'm just going to give it a little bit of seasoning of salt right there. Okay, so it also said to add 2 bouillon cubes and a half of chopped yellow onion. So I'm going to go ahead and dump in my onion so I can clear off my board, because I want to smash up these bouillon cubes a little bit to kind of mix them in so I can evenly spread them, since we're going to be gone most of the day. Or maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I may just have to put them in there because they do not want to crush for me. I don't think I'm going to be able to crush them. It crumbled a little bit. That'll work. What?
I think you broke your table.
I broke my table. Oh, I didn't break it. I just popped the end to it. This is our collapsible camper. Probably not the point where you want to, our camper table, probably not the point where I want to be hitting on it. Huh. Okay, so I'm going to mix all these spices and everything up. Looks very good. Let me make sure I have everything. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to drizzle this beef broth, which is just a 14.5 ounce can of beef broth, over the top. I'm going to mix it pretty well with the onion and the beef broth. And now, while Octavius is having a cow because there are birds outside.
There's people walking their dogs too.
And there's other dogs. We're going to just sprinkle this over the top. And give it another mix. Now the recipe says that you cook it on low for 8 hours, which is very good because we have got all kinds of adventures planned today. I'm not sure that we're going to be able to do everything we have planned, but I want this thing to be able, I don't want to have to worry about getting back to my slow cooker. So one of the other things that I did is I chose, whenever I was choosing which slow cookers to bring in our camper kitchen with us, I chose to bring one of our slow cookers that tends to cook hot, our Ninja, and I chose to bring our Instant Pot multi-cooker because I know it tends to cook slow. So in 8 hours this recipe will be done, but it won't be as done as it would have been in the Ninja if I had cooked it for 8 hours. So that way, if we're going to be a little bit later and this cooks over or hits over to the warm feature, I don't have to be afraid that my food is going to overcook. The other thing about this is I'm choosing to cook a beef recipe while we're going to be gone for a really long time because beef, of all the meats, tends to be able to withstand longer cooking times than pork or chicken does. So I'm going to put the lid on this, going to put it on low for 8 hours, and then you're going to see what all we get into before we come back and taste this yumminess. It says that true Texas chili is served with a slice of lime and a little bit of sour cream. So that's how we're going to try it.
That sounds so good.
Yeah, it sounds wonderful. So we'll be back in just a few, and in the meantime, you'll see what we got up to in Galveston today. I definitely want to go to the pyramid. But that it's open until 9, and everything else closes at 5 or 6.
Okay. Well, then where you want to go first?
Addie, do you want to just see the submarine museum, or do you want to go to the mansion and the submarine?
Both.
Okay, so mansion, I guess, is first.
Okay, so we are off to the Moody mansion. Is that right?
Yeah, I have no idea what it is all about.
We don't either, other than...
So let's find out.
Yeah, that's one of the sites that people say to come see when you're down in Galveston is the Moody mansion. I can't imagine anybody being moody in Texas. Everybody's been so nice.
Oh, it's their name, silly.
Well, they had to get their name somehow.
Is somebody not seatbelted? What was that?
No, we got a door that's still open.
Uh-oh. Addie?
What?
Is
Gotta
it
be
her?
you, bro.
Or is it me?
Let's all try it. Same time. 1, 2, 3.
No wonder there were drops coming down.
Was it me? Oh, she's like, no wonder I'm being rained on.
So we're heading out of here, and we're going to go to the Moody mansion.
It's a rainy day.
Yes, it is. It started out really nice and sunny, and it said rain was coming in, and they said the rain was supposed to be here in the morning, and it was taking its sweet Texas time and showed up a little late. So that's okay, because what we're going to do is, I'm hoping, inside stuff.
Yes. I don't know about, like, the submarine.
Head northwest on 7 Mile Road toward Termini San Luis Pass Road, then turn right onto Termini San Luis Pass Road.
Okay, I don't think I can
Take
remember
the
all
next
that.
right onto Termini San Luis Pass Road.
Okay, so we're going to turn right. Anywho, I'm not sure, like the Moody Mansion stuff we know is inside. The Moody Pyramid Rainforest activity is inside.
Termini San Luis Pass Road for half a mile.
She's loud. So we know both of those activities are inside. I don't know if the other thing, the park that we were wanting to go to.
It might be outside.
Yeah,
And
so we
the
may.
Seawolf Park. Has anybody ever been there? What are we getting ready to get into if we go there?
So, but big thanks to the Visitors Bureau because they gave us free tickets to go see these things.
Big props. Big props.
Yes.
We just walked in to the visitor center and said, "Hey, we're here to check out Galveston." And I had mentioned something about recipes that Crock. She goes, "Oh, you're bloggers." I said, "Well, she's a blogger. I'm a vlogger." And she picks up the phone and calls this nice lady, and this nice lady gave us some free passes to a bunch of places up here.
Yeah. So we're gonna check out a few of them.
Yep.
And like show you guys what it's like, so that if you guys visit and want to check it out, you can know what you're getting into because we have no idea what we're getting into.
Other than rain.
Yes, it is raining. It's been raining the last couple days. Like we had several beautiful days in a row, but now
We got spoiled.
We're in a little rainy season situation.
I think it's supposed to be like maybe today and partly tomorrow, and then it's supposed to get sunny again. It's supposed to get a little cooler down here. Now, a little cooler in Texas means it's going to be in the 60s, and then during the day, and then at night, I think it's supposed to maybe a couple times drop down into the 40s.
We can handle that.
Yeah, back home it's snowing.
Yeah.
So I think
According
we can
to my
handle
mom.
it. Yeah, Mama says that it's snowing back home. So I'm more than happy with dipping into the 40s down here and back up into the 60s during the day.
But I do have to tell you, after all of this travel, I'm very much looking forward to that Texas chili because it has our entire RV smelling like heaven right now,
Oh my gosh,
and it
that's-
just started.
Beef. Just
It
beef.
smells good.
Yeah, it does.
It may change my chili ways.
All right, onward to Moody Mansion.
There we go.
Okay, so here's the big story behind the house. The woman who built this house spent $125,000 to have it built. They said that she blew her entire inheritance to have this house built. She dies in 1899, so it's willed to the family. The family wanted nothing to do with this house because they were mad that the woman had spent all of her money on this one house. And so they put it up for sale. There's a few guys, including Moody, who had put a bid in on it, and actually Moody didn't want to live in a place like this. He lived in a house kind of like what's across the street, a nice home for a man of his wealth, but it was nothing extravagant. And so he didn't want anything to do with it, so he lowballs the offer at $20,000. The city had appraised this place between $40,000 and $50,000, so Moody lowballed it thinking, I'll put in a crazy bid, I won't get the house, and that'll be the end of it. And then the hurricane hits, wipes out most of Galveston. One of the guys who bid on the house dies in the hurricane. The other three of the other guys that put in the bids all backed out and said, nope, I don't want anything to do with Galveston. I don't want anything to do with that house. You know, this isn't the place where we'd want to live. And Moody says, well, I'm the only guy left. I'm going to honor it. I promised you guys I'd pay $20,000 for it, and so I'll buy it. He buys this house, restores it, the family lives here, and they live here for a few generations. But Moody was able to live here in this hurricane-ravaged town, and he helped to turn it back around, and cotton was huge down here. He became an owner of over 50 businesses, and his wealth, they said back in the 50s, was at $300 million. So in today's standards, he'd have been a billionaire. William Moody had a hard work ethic. It was very big. He wanted to do business. His wife even said that she was concerned with how much work he was putting into the business and how many hours he was putting in. And for him, it wasn't so much work as it was play. It was fun, because he said that business is like poker, and to win in business is like winning a hand in poker. It was fun to win, becoming as successful as he was. And one of the really cool stories that I listened to was that Hilton, you know, of the famous Hilton hotels, he was actually going under, and he goes to Moody and says, man, I need a loan. I've got 8 hotels that are starting to go under, and I need to keep them afloat. And so Moody gives him a loan of $300,000 in order to keep the hotels going. Hilton later on defaults on the loan. So he claims bankruptcy and says, I can't pay you back. So Moody takes over the hotels, and he gives a third of that to Hilton. So he forgave his debt in a way, and takes him into business with him on a handshake. And so Hilton and Moody go into business with these hotels, and Hilton says, I'll do this on a handshake that if at any time I don't like doing business with the Moody family, that I can back out and I'll get my original stuff back. And Moody says, fine. Well, later on, Hilton is in business with Moody's son. I believe it was Shern. And he didn't much care for the guy. So he says, I'm backing out, I'm done. And so Moody, out of his generosity and through a gentleman's handshake, because the guy was an honest businessman, which sure is hard to find those guys anymore. But Moody, he says, okay, I'll give you 3 of your hotels back, and I'll give you a $95,000 loan in order to keep him going. So out of Mr. Moody's generosity, that he definitely did not have to have, he could have sunk Hilton at the time, and we'd have Moody hotels everywhere. He was able to keep Hilton in business. He was able to keep him afloat and make Hilton one of the most successful hotel owners in modern day. This was awesome. I'm so glad we did it. I would love to have met him and his family, because he seems like a good dude. Seems like a good old boy. The stone that was used, you could tell it was local stone, complete with fossils. So now we're going to go on and continue with the tour inside the Moody Mansion. So you want to talk about how elaborate this place is? Take a look at the ceiling. Of course, the ceilings are all painted with the tapestry in here. I'll check out the other rooms here in a minute, but look at the walls. The walls, that's not wallpaper. It's silk. They even let you have a sample to touch right here. Of course, everything's flaked in gold in the front room here. Wow, this place is gorgeous. Look at the ceiling. So this is the original sitting room of the house. This is where the family would get together every evening. William Moody would sit by the fire and play with the kids, and the kids would do their lessons, or Mary would practice on the piano. And this is where they would spend every evening together after dinner. This room itself is almost bigger than my house. So this is the butler's pantry where they kept all the silverware and dishes and things like that, the fine china. And this right here, they called it the Annunciator, and that was a way for each room to have an intercom in it, what we would call modern day intercom in a house, so that the servants could could talk to somebody in the butler's pantry and tell them what was needed in the front room. This place was high tech for its day. Look at that. Look at the ceiling. So this is what a restroom looked like in 1900. See, they had a thing for hot water right here to go into the tub, cast iron tub. And then, of course, you had your toilet with the water that came from gravity. It was filled there. And they were rich, so they had a bidet. It did take me a couple minutes to figure out why they had 2 toilets.
It's pretty, huh? I tend to have good ideas from time to time. Like marrying you, dear.
on a second.
Did you not even hear what I just said?
That was my idea.
No, it wasn't.
So we just went and visited the Moody Museum down here off of Broadway.
Moody Mansion.
Moody Mansion and museum. It's a mansion they turned into a museum, celebrating the history of the Moody family. That was really cool. How did you like it?
Mm-hmm.
What is something that you learned in the mansion?
Libby, which was Mary's sister, she kept a snake in a jar in her room
Why?
to keep people out of her room.
It worked. You left. Alright, so now we're going to head to the Moody Gardens.
Mm-hmm. We're going to the Rainforest Pyramid.
Rainforest Pyramid.
Apparently there's multiple pyramids, but we're going to the Rainforest one. So my monkey can see some monkeys.
Yay! Is it like a zoo?
No, I think it's more like a rainforest. It said, where did I look at that? It said like it was going to show you like the rainforest of, was it Asia and someplace else?
Also, are there going to be like real animals?
Yes.
Alright, so do you guys really want to go see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Then you should probably put it in Google because I have no idea where it's at.
Oh.
We're in the Rainforest Pyramid down here in Galveston, and it's gorgeous. Check a look. Look at all the different plants and birds. But the thing is, they're saying that there's monkeys and sloths that also live here. And what I want to know is, since this is not closed off, what is keeping the sloths and the monkeys away from us?
Oh, it's easy. Well, because we were told not to touch them when we came in, I bet they told them not to touch us. A man facing his fears.
The only reason I'm not freaking out right now is because of the amount of glass that's behind him. My daughter just dragged her finger across my neck as I was filming that spider. Not cool.
So we are back. We technically were gone a little over 6 hours. So this hasn't cooked a full 8 hours, but the beef is tender, or what I'm gonna consider tender enough. It's definitely cooked through. I could see how it could cook and reduce down for 8 hours. So I'm probably gonna keep cooking it even after we start eating on it. But we're hungry because we've had an eventful, rainy, wet, soggy day.
It was definitely wet, definitely raining, but my
Yes.
gosh, those places were awesome. Moody
Yeah.
Mansion and the Moody Gardens.
Yes. So we are going to serve up some of our Texas chili here. We've decided we want to have ours with sour cream and lime and avocado. One of the things I didn't tell you is that cookbook, even though it was a low carb cookbook, it was calling for a tablespoon or 2 of tapioca, which is pretty high carb and is used as a thickener. So if we really wanted this to be thick, probably what I would do is stir in a couple tablespoons or even maybe a whole brick of cream cheese, but we really don't care that it's not thick. So we're going to eat it as it is, and we're going to put a little sour cream in it, and I think we're going to liven it up a little bit also with some avocado, because we really enjoy avocado. So I'm going to come here. This whole RV smells completely amazing.
Oh, it smells so good in here.
This chili is, oh my, it's rainy and windy outside. Is very, very meaty, and it sounds like you're going to come in on us. So I'm going to go on and just scoop me out some. Not a whole portion for right now, but I'm not sure. Can you see that? Can you see
I will
that?
Zoom in on it so we can see it. Check that out. Hold it just right there.
Oh. So you can see the garlic and the onion with the beef that definitely has that chili powder and cumin on it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to also add a dollop of sour cream. And it said to serve it with lime. So I'm going to squirt a little bit of the lime on there right now. But I'm also going to add just a little avocado, which I want my lime on too, just to give me a little bit here. So, alrighty. So now the moment of truth. I'm sure this is going to continue to get even more tender, but it's pretty tender as it is.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm. I definitely like it with the lime. The lime gives it flavor.
I'll say the lime with that chili powder makes it really good.
I could see how this could be really, really spicy if you added a lot of that red pepper. But it has a little heat, but it's not too bad at all for us, because we don't.
Northern lightweights.
Yeah, because we don't like it. So I'm going to add some of this avocado now. But oh yeah, definitely
Good.
add the avocado. So no, we had a wonderful time today. We visited Moody Mansion, and then we ended up going over to Moody Gardens and visiting the Rainforest. So it's there's a lot of really cool stuff over there. We didn't go to the aquarium, and I bet that it's just as cool because the Rainforest was very well done.
Yeah. Well, it's just there was so much to see at the Rainforest. It wasn't like you just walked around the floor and it was done. You started at the top of this pyramid and spiraled your way all the way down. And
it was.
How long were we there? About an hour and a half? Almost 2 hours?
At least. It was Asia, America, and Africa. The Americas is what it said, and Africa. And they had different areas dedicated to the birds and the plants, and they had some wildlife. Not tons, but some wildlife. But there were all kinds of birds. Like there was a bird everywhere. I had never
seen a sloth before until today in real life.
That was cool. That was cool.
Spider wasn't cool, but still.
Miss Dad enjoyed showing you the spider.
That was the first time I'd ever seen a tarantula that big. Hopefully the last time. But no, it was a great time. It's very much family oriented, and there were a bunch of kids that were in awe. There were a bunch of older people that were in awe. And since we're here off season, it wasn't crowded at all.
Oh, no.
So we could go through as much as we want to stay as long as we wanted.
While we were here, I think they have a regular Festival of Lights program, which wasn't going on at the exact time we were there, but I think they were probably preparing for it for either the weekend or the evenings or something. They probably not tonight, because it is nasty out. It's wet. And, but anyhow, so that is what we did today, and so now we're going to enjoy us some Texas chili if I decide to share with everyone.
You better.
And so if you like what you saw, give this video a thumbs up, and if you are not already subscribed, please subscribe and become a member of the Crock Posse, our Crock Pot family. And if you keep watching, we'll keep cooking and all will be well. Bye. I'm going to neglect on your Mikey duties. Oh gosh. Our Crock Pot. While we go out and just